Hello everyone, this is CJNovo992 and today we're back for another brand new video. And today's video arrives on not only a beautiful day, but dare I say it, a beautiful Sunday. As well as we went to the Tony Macaroni, and listen, it wasn't a cricket score, it wasn't a 5-6, but we got the win, we got a vital 3 points. And dare I say it, we made the Tony Macaroni look as easiest I've seen us play there in maybe forever. And the word easy and the Tony Macaroni just doesn't even sit right, especially right here on the channel, as we have had some horrendous games there, some horrendous watches and horrendous points flung out the actual window. But the biggest compliment I can give this Rangers side, especially under the puppet master Clement, is not one part of that game had me worried or stressed, and that just Disney happened. We were never in trouble, we were never under pressure. It was almost a foregone conclusion for the first minute because the way we approached and went about our business. We never made it seem like a big task. Now obviously Clement let his opinions be known on the plastic surface with a great quote and a great little clip that you've probably seen on my social medias, but just in case you haven't, he says plastic parks aren't in any of the big leagues or any of the top leagues, and there's a reason for that, and we know the reason. It's very difficult to play actual football on that park, and I think that's why we've struggled a lot in the past, because we've always had one set way of playing, right? We've been strangled in, we play this one way, doesn't matter who it is, this is your way, and plan B is to play plan A better. That's what we've been over the last couple of years, but I thought we mixed up really well the day we won and just drilled into playing the exact same patterns of play. We mixed up, we tried different things, and let's be honest, we came into this game of football rotating some of our best performing players. You know what I mean? We've not been playing too great this season, but we took a couple of the bright sparks under Clement out, the likes of Danilo, who has been leading the line and being electrifying and being almost the heartbeat of this Rangers team and getting it back into life. He never played the day. He brought in Dessers, who again has been very hit and miss and hasn't been performing up to the ability that he is capable of. And today, that not only are you bringing in a striker that's maybe no feeling good about yourself or playing with confidence, you also give a young laddie his first ever start. No, his first start for Rangers, his first ever start in terms of professional top flight football, and the name wee Ross mccausland. And for me, I thought he was absolutely outstanding today. So to take all that into consideration, the plastic park, the tough service, the tight turnaround after Thursday, you know what I mean? We weren't playing Tuesday night in the Champions League. No, we were playing Thursday night, yet we were the early kick-off on the Sunday, and come in and get all that mixed with the ingredients we've already talked about. For me, this is an absolute terrific result, and I'll take that going in to the old international break. So I am absolutely delighted and I'm buzzing with the win, but it doesn't mean today's video is just going to be sing-songs and rainbows, troops. No, there is something that really annoyed me in the game, and I'm probably going to have a wee bit of rant when we talk about the referee, and especially VAR, and I think you all know what I'm actually talking about, but we'll get there in a couple of minutes. We'll throw a couple of clips up and we'll have a wee look at it and really digest it. But let's start off with some positivity there again. Wee Ross in his first ever start, I thought he was absolutely outstanding. And you know, I was thinking to myself, Tony Macaroni, that's going to be his first start. He's obviously been good coming in substitute appearances, maybe against tiring opponents. There's a wee bit more space, the game's needing this, the game's needing that. So I thought, I wonder what it's going to be like. But literally his very first touch and his very first start for Rangers was a step over drag back against an established SPFL player and ran him ragged. And it was after that, literally 1 minute in to his debut, I went, nah, this kid's different. But you will be hearing his name a lot during the actual game recap because he was outstanding. And another name you'll be hearing a lot, troops, is of course Tom Lawrence, who got his first start in a little while as well, especially coming back from such a serious injury. Came back for a little bit and then got ruled out. And then I'm seeing him on a plastic part. You know what I mean? I don't get nervous, but I was starting to get a little bit shaky watching him play this game. But there's just something about Tom Lawrence, right? I'll keep it short and I'll keep it sweet. There's just... he's a footballer's football, you know what I mean? You watch the wee things he does, it's maybe no, oh my god, look at this, he's doing this, but the way he moves, he's wee clever in possession, the way he plays with his chest out, he's just a footballer, and he really reminds me of the likes of Stephen Davis. Maybe not in terms of the way they go about their business, but you just look and say, that there is a classy footballer, and I thought he was such an important piece to make what maybe is the rotated starting 11 in terms of attack, and the young laddie Ross and Dessers who's out of confidence. Just having Tom Lawrence there, I think he's got a really underrated or understated performance or role in today's win, because he just kept everything going. He was the true orchestrator in the entire game. Not only did he have a misfiring striker, he had a 20-year-old laddie this side, and he just kept it going and made it look absolutely seamless for both of them. So I see nobody talking about Tom Lawrence here at all on social media or anything, so that's my guy I want to shout out, because for me, he just kept everything going, and then he just sat there like the orchestrator. But let's get into the game of football, because there is so much to talk about, trust me, and we will get to every bit of it. But it was your usual sort of Tony Macaroni start, maybe a bit slow, a bit sluggish, both teams filling themselves out, a lot of long balls for Livy and the usual. But 15 minutes in, we get our first bright spark of the game as Dessers uses his physicality. Something we'd be praying to see him doing from a throw in, ends up running around the boy, runs towards goal. It's a narrow angle, but he does well, keeping it low, but it's a good, comfortable save for George. Now, of course, we waste the corners, because we do all the time. There is nothing more useless than a Rangers outswinging corner. I'm not getting into it, but we wasted every single corner we had today. Not one corner all day resulted in us having a shot on target, and when you look at how many corners we had, that there is embarrassing. But we never change it, so let's move on. Again, scar tissue for this guy. But it was a bright spark. We got a wee bit of a chance to get forward, and it started to get everybody going. And then just a couple minutes later, we had the opening goal of the game. It's a wonderful ball, curled in, I believe, by Tavernier. And Dessers tries to get a flick on it. He doesn't. It falls to the back post. Balogun does brilliantly to head it back in to the 6-yard box. And Connor Goldson scores. He's away again at the wee kiss. He's loving life. I'm happy. Goldson's happy. And then there's VAR. Then there's VAR. And you're going, what is it now? But this one I have absolutely no complaints about. It's the right call. Dessers is in an offside position, and I've seen some people saying, but doesn't he touch it? He still made a move towards the ball. He's in front of the goalkeeper, and he puts the goalkeeper off. So this one I have no problems with. Clear and obvious one from that one. He's clearly offside, so the goal shouldn't have stood. It's just a bit frustrating. Dessers, again, the guy's always offside, which was quite funny, and it played in my mind on something I said a couple of videos ago regarding Danilo, when I says I've never seen this laddie be called for offside yet. In fact, I think at all time he's maybe been offside once. I think that's an official stat, and that's an incredible stat to have when you're a striker, especially with pace. But his movement, his timing is spectacular. Dessers just isn't there, and it's quite clear to see as he's averaging nearly 3 or 4 offsides a game, which is crazy. But the front three that you've already heard me mention a couple of times, McCausland, Lawrence and Dessers, was all combining just a couple minutes after that as well. This is a quick counter-attack. Dessers does well to shield it to Lawrence. Lawrence with a big header, and wee Ross runs, beats his man, turns back out and beats his man again, and has a pop that's just over the bar. I've seen a couple of people calling the laddie greedy and everything like that, and I'm just sitting looking and saying, come on, man. He's trying to grab his opportunity. He's made the chance himself. Who needs rival fans or people booing him when we've got guys calling a 20-year-old laddie greedy who's trying to grab his opportunity and stamp a 40 in the game? He's made it himself. Go and do it, wee man, because I can guarantee you if you were shot shy and you kept looking for the pass, people would complain and say he's playing too safe. No, keep being who you are, wee man, and hopefully that leads you to a successful Rangers career. And that certainly will be the case if he continues what happened in the 21st minute, as it's just, again, his energy. It's a kind of a shorter corner this time. It sort of breaks down, but the defender tries to pass it back to the goalie. Wee Ross runs in, gets the touch. It's the clearest day penalty you ever see, and I know I see people say, he's dived for it or anything like that. It's never a penalty, but you can tell the boys that's never played a game of football in their life. I'm sorry, but you can just see it. Every single person knows if you take a touch this way and you've got it control, you're getting clamped by the goalie, and it's quite clearly going to be a penalty kick. The wee man does everything right there and sets up what should be his first assist in a Rangers shot, which is funny because if you look at his last 2 games, he should have about 4 assists now, but he's not got either yet, but he's getting this one. Tavernier up steps, and it is dreadful. The penalty it doesn't hit the post this time. It's just high, wide, and it's certainly no handsome. But thankfully that didn't deflate us, and again I still wasn't worried because Livingston were offering zilch, 0 to this game. They were just there to pick up the numbers, and that's the first time I've seen them play like that. And I think you can look at that as a Livingston end, be disappointed, but also the way Rangers were approaching the game, gambling people forward, 4 or 5 people in the box at once, sprinting forward, gambling with this, no sitting in a position where you've got 2 holding players sitting here with 2 other boys. No, it was go, and that's a credit to the way Clement set his men up today. Again, maybe a little bit of a lack of respect against the opposition in SPFL, but that's what you need, that ruthless mindset mindset, and he's certainly injecting it into the players. In the 25th minute, it's just a wonderful goal here by the man, Tom Lawrence. So giving him a lot of credit. He's running down the left, he cuts inside, gets his heat up. It's a wonderful ball. It meets our boy Dessers in stride. He doesn't need to Danahan, he doesn't need to try and slow down, doesn't need to speed up. He's literally running the fastest Dessers can actually run. It just meets him there, and give him all the credit in the world. It's great strength. The shot, it obviously takes a deflection and bobbles in, but it's the only way that Dessers is going to score the new. You know what I mean? The way that bobbled and slowly went over the line is the exact way that Dessers was always ever going to score in this game. But I'm delighted for the big laddie again. He maybe does things that frustrate me. He's maybe offsides a lot, but you never want to see a Rangers player fail. He got a vital, and I mean vital, goal in this game, and it's all down to the run, the strength. The finish was maybe lucky, but he's done everything else right. So for me, he deserves it. And that was 1-0 going on about 2 or 3 at that point. And at that point, I just knew it was going to be a cricket score. Or it should have been. And you know where I'm going to go with this? I'm going to jump right to the 44th minute, maybe jump over a couple incidences. Sorry, there was a great moment where Dessers spins his man, makes a run, but Tavernier delays the pass too much. Now Dessers does run through and hit it wide, but I'm going to pretend for my own mental health that he knew he was offside, and if Tav had passed him at the right time, because Dessers again done everything right, if he got the ball at the right time, he would have scored it. That's what I'm telling myself. There was another possible penalty as Ross has a shot and it hits the defender here, and for me, this isn't a penalty either. I think the referee and VAR gets this one spot on. If it hits this hand, because I understand people say, aye, but he's put his hands up, but his literal body is touching here and it hits his, that's no a penalty. If it hits this hand and it's out, it's a penalty. But for me, the referee gets this one right, but where he doesn't get it right is the 43rd minute of this game, and it shows you just how cruel football can actually be as wee Ross gets his first goal, which I can't even imagine. That's the dream. He's living the dream. Hud, his first start for Rangers after breaking it through, scores an absolute top bin finish, and he doesn't even get to celebrate it because right away the wee referee's making it all about him. And this is a wee side note, and I know this isn't going to really make sense because the goal was eventually chopped off, but see when the referee's in that occasion, this is what my biggest problem with VAR and everything like that. He blows right away and gives it as a foul and says VAR is checking it. See if the referee knows VAR's going to check it. Let's keep emotions in football. Let's have the wee man running, celebrating, and maybe doing this and maybe doing that. You know what I mean? He knows VAR's going to check it anyway, and if there is a foul, they're going to rule it out. But see this stopping it right away, knowing allowing a 20-year-old laddie who thinks he's scored to run and celebrate, just sucks the life out of football. And that's what you get these days, man. You watch an English football. English football's already soulless, right? We know it's absolutely sold out, it's overly commercialised, but now you've got boys scoring and they're doing this. And they're just waiting to see. It's sucking the life out the game. And I know the goal was eventually ruled out, so maybe the referee made the right call, but he never made the right call, and we'll get to that in a minute. But that's just a wee thing. I still think if the referee thinks it's a foul in, he knows VAR's there, let the fans, let the players have the moment, then you check it. You didn't blow it dead right away and take a moment away for it. Because imagine if that goal was given. The wee man didn't even get to celebrate or nothing. That would have stayed with him forever. That's just a wee tangent there. I apologise, but people need to remember football's an emotional support. We connect with it. We love our team. We love our players. We follow this, follow that. Sitting here like cyborgs and not caring what to do and stopping this and this and this, despite you having the technology, is ruining the game. It really is. And speaking of ruining the game, look at this right here. The goal was ruled out as VAR somehow looks at that and gives it as a foul. Now, again, I might show it a couple of times over my shoulder and everything like that, but if you actually look at the incident, right, we're going to look at it a couple of times. You've got the defender holding. First, he's originally pulling Sima back, then he runs him and gives him a shove in to the defender who takes the swan dive because he's been pushed. Sima stays on his feet, tries to reach out for the ball. He's then getting pulled quite clearly backwards, but Sima stays on his feet, plays it back to Dessers, who has a shot. It goes to wee Ross, and Ross puts it in the top bin. Tremendous effort, work rate, and no flopping like a fish for Sima. We want players to stay on. We want people not to fall over. We want people to do this. Then we punish them for actually doing it. And what's sickening here to me is they've given it a foul against Sima, right, for pushing over the defender. Can I ask every single human being that's watching today's video, how is it that Sima pushed in to the back of the defender? Did he do it on his own? No. Was it because he was pushed by another defender? And it takes me back, right? If you want to give that as a foul, right? Just say it is, which it isn't, but let's pretend that it is. Let's go back to the Chelsea-Spurs game. They scored a goal that was ruled offside, but VAR looked at it, said that was offside, but in the same passage of play, before the offside, there was a penalty kick call because Romero hit, I believe, Sterling or something like that. So VAR chopped the goal off, but gave the penalty for the same for a foul in the actual build-up. So I ask every single person, if that's the way they're doing it now, why have they looked at that and saying, right, Seema's pushed the boy, that's a foul, but are pretending they didn't see the Livingston player grabbing Seema from behind, then shoving him over? Shouldn't have VAR said, aye, that's a foul on the defender, so the goal can't stand, but it's then a foul on Seema because he's been pushed into the back of him? And this is sickening that I need to talk about a game of football like this and talk about it like stages and a computer script and everything like that, but that's the way football actually is. It's not the game that we grew up loving or grew up wanting to play. It's not a contact sport anymore. It's over officiated, it's over ref by people that's never played the game before, that's sitting in a DJ booth miles and miles away from it, over analysing, over checking this, over checking that, and seeing a touch and saying, no, that's a foul. Nobody knows what they're doing. They're changing the rules every week, and for me it's sickening the game. A football, it never coasts the day, it never coasts the point, but I'm just talking general. It annoys me every single week, and I don't know what football's going to be like in 10 years. Do you know what I mean? Because think about it's changed in 10 years, from 10 years ago to now. It's going to be like flag football. It's going to be like flag American football where you just pull it. And that's, honestly, you might be laughing and saying, oh, that's a silly comparison. But is it? There's no any contact anymore. And when there is contact, it's instantly a foul. And again, Seema has only fouled the defender because the guy behind him has literally pulled him, then shoved him into the back. Where's Seema supposed to go? Is he supposed to evaporate and become Mr. Elastic for Incredibles or what? I don't know what is going on. It's just embarrassing. So sorry for the tangent, sorry for the rant, but the referees are strangling the life out the game, and it's honestly embarrassing in every aspect. Us as a fans are getting treated like cattle and getting treated like money. It's not about our entertainment, it's not about scoring goals anymore, it's not about this, it's about the way they want it. All they want is the money first, and they'll just do what they want to do with their stuff. Our enjoyment or nothing doesn't come in to the game anymore, and it's only getting worse and worse and worse. It's never a foul against Seema, and if you want to give that as a foul, you have to then go ahead and give the foul for the pushing on, which again, for me, he plays on and we get a goal. Why do we need to give it as a foul anyway? Do you know what I mean? Can football not just be football? Sorry for ranting, I'm done now, but the referee in the VAR room is once again letting football down. But aye, getting into the second half we go then. The second half wasn't much, if I'm honest with you. I don't know what happened with both teams, but I guess Livingston started to put a little bit of pressure on, but what did they muster for all that pressure and running? Nothing, really. They had one shot for about 35 yards out that was easily caught by Butland, and that was it. The guy could have sat there and read all the Harry Potter books before he was ever needed again in the game, and maybe it took a wee bit to cut in. There was a big long stoppage, obviously, with Goldson and a Livingston defender. Looked like a bad one. Thankfully, both of them were alright, I believe. Danilo came on for Dessers, who I thought had a decent day at the office. I thought it was much more like the player we thought we were getting. I thought he was very physical. I thought he put himself about. Certainly something to build towards. And maybe the fact that Danilo's out there performing week in and week out, realised that he now needs to kick it in and become a good player, or he's out and he's not going to be playing every week. Beale's not here anymore to coddle his favourites and play them week in and week out. It's exactly what we talked about when Clement came in the door. He doesn't do that. If you're playing well, you'll play. If you didn't, you get bombed out. And I think Dessler's now starting to get what he should have been getting for the start of the season. A kick up the arse to become the player he can be. So encouraged by what Dessers has done in this game of football, and long may it continue when he's actually required. And Danilo ran about, done his business, obviously had a good shot that was well saved by George. But the next big talking point was, of course, the second penalty in the game. Now, there was 3 penalty incidents, and I agreed with the first one with Ross getting a penalty. I didn't agree, or I agreed with the referee not giving the second one, which was a handball. But this one is as clear as day, and I know there's going to be folk moaning and everything like that, but again, you can't help people that didn't want to be helped. You know what I mean? The boys ran in and looked like AJ Styles for the top rope and dropped a phenomenal forearm on the ball, yet we have not to get the penalty kick because we've already had one in the game. What sense does it make? It's clearly a handball. The boys jumped up and done that. It's hit him right there, and upsets Tavernier and hit it to the left this time with the penalty that was so composed that I wish he hit it in the first one. And it's now 7 goals in his last 8 for Tavernier. and it was game over. And not only was it game over in terms of the scoreline and obviously the match, but it was really game over in terms of the quality and the chances. We started to make a couple changes. The likes of Cartwell come on and got booked within like a minute or two, you know what I mean? And some people might be frustrated or annoyed, but I don't know, he seems to absolutely love football and be all in, that he just gets involved in maybe stuff. Maybe he's the Morelos replacement in that way, but I eat, sleep, Cantwell, betting, booking, repeat, as he always seems to get one and everything like that. So that was the only thing. And again, Danilo done very good work after Jose ran down the right hand side, whipped in a good wee cross. Danilo brings it down on the chest, hits it on a swivel and forces George into another good save. But that was really it. There was a couple wasted corners. I believe Connor Goldson hit one back at the stadium in the last minute. But that truly was the game. That truly was the set. It was a very comfortable, very delightful game of football. But again, it highlights a couple of issues where I think football's gone in the wrong way. It's just no for the fans anymore, right? All your betting companies and your Sky accounts and your BT, they can all say it's for the fans. But it's no anymore, you know what I mean? I don't know what it's for, somebody can bring it down, but the fans are the only ones getting punished because it's not about entertainment anymore, it's not about goals, it's about guys making it all about them from miles away and the guys standing about in the whistle. I mean, you hear these names constantly, you're seeing them on the telly for 7 or 8 minutes a single game now. Nobody cares about referees, nobody wants to see referees, but we're seeing it more and more and more, and it's only going to get worse, and it's not going to be long till they've got microphones and they're stopping the game several times, just like the NFL. It's going to get worse. It's going to be filtered towards things nobody cares about, but that's football these days. But I'll be delighted with the 3 points, and I'm delighted with the way that Phil Clement is leading this Rangers side. Now get into the international break, get players back healthy and build this squad up and continue to rock and roll the way we're actually going. And Mary, the match could be difficult for this one. I thought Jacko was good. I thought Lunny was great. Again, I thought the two centre halves were powerful. Tavernier was good. But I'm going to give it to wee Ross, despite Dessers getting obviously the goal. Got to give it to Ross. I thought he was absolutely excellent and deserves his shout, but Lawrence just off it. What about you? Let me know your thoughts and opinions, not only this game, but just all the sideshow activities and everything like that. You know what I mean? Referees, look, I'm on the telly again. Mum, screenshot it for me so I can put it as my background picture on Facebook. We didn't care about them, but they continue to make it about them. I'd love to know your thoughts on where football is heading, and as always, I've been Sieging over 92. If I didn't see you during the international break, take care of yourselves. I'll see you in the next video. All the best, and bye bye.